It's Thursday, the 16th of June, 2022. Welcome to the Fast Five by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 stories to get through in 5 minutes. Let's jump into it. Story number 1, big news yesterday. The Fair Work Commission has handed down a 5.2% increase in the national minimum wage, or about $40 a week. It's the biggest rise since 2006. And of course, as you might expect with a rise perhaps of that size, it's triggered both plaudits and condemnation.
Yes, it was higher than expected. It's about in line with headline inflation. Fair Work Commissioner Ian Ross said the tribunal felt the need to protect the real value of wages of lowest paid workers. The Commission has also announced a 4.6% increase in the modern award minimum wages. Now, the 5.2% increase will go to about 184,000 employees. The 4.6% will go to about 2.5 million workers. The increase begins next month, unless you're in aviation, tourism or hospitality. It will then be delayed until October. Businesses in those sectors said they need the time to get their cash flow going for that. Big question, can we afford it? Well, that's tough. Some industries can, some can't. Until the past couple of months, politicians, regulators and unions were calling for a big jump in the minimum wage to help the economy. The complicating factor now is that there's already plenty of inflation in the system. This will add to it. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese was happy. He talked about this during the election campaign. The Australian Council of Social Services and the union movements were also happy. The business community, less so.
All right, on to story number 2, Sean, and we've talked a lot about the energy crisis that we're in at the moment, and there's a major development now with the Australian energy market operator yesterday afternoon taking the unprecedented step of suspending the electricity spot market across all states with the exception of WA.
That's right. It said it was impossible to buy and sell electricity in the spot market in accordance with the rules. That's because of surging wholesale prices, the pickup in demand, outages at power stations, and the natural reluctance of generators to produce energy that's uneconomical. Now, the regulator oversees the national electricity market and ensures there's a reliability of supply. What it means, it'll be able to set prices for wholesale power. It'll take control of all generation plants. It can force generators to meet power demand. Chief Executive Daniel Westerman said the regulator had no choice but to suspend the spot market to ensure secure and reliable supply of electricity.
Okay, story 3 today, Sean. Australia and Japan have agreed to elevate defence cooperation and step up joint military exercises to address the security situation in the Indo-Pacific.
Yes, in fact, the two countries called it a severe security situation on the back of concerns about China's increasing assertiveness in the region. Deputy Prime Minister and Defence Minister Richard Marles was in Tokyo meeting with his Japanese counterpart, and he said it's crucial that the two countries cooperate given the most complex strategic challenges since World War II.
Okay, story number 4, Sean. This is a big deal, this one. British petroleum giant BP has bought a chunk of the $52 billion Asian renewable energy hub in the Pilbara in WA.
Yeah, it puts BP front and centre in bringing renewables and hydrogen projects to fruition. BP's taken a 40.5% stake in the hub. It'll become operator from July 1. This is a project which the Morrison government controversially blocked last year on environmental concerns. A revised proposal will now be submitted for the 6,500 square kilometre site in the East Pilbara, which has been billed as potentially one of the largest renewables and green hydrogen hubs in the world when it gets up and running, slated for the end of this decade. British petroleum giant BP will be running it.
Okay, last one, Sean. Story number 5. This is good news for anyone who has been watching the grocery bill going up and up and up. Woolworths says it will freeze prices of a bunch of everyday products such as flour, sugar, vinegar, laundry powder, nappies, right through until the end of the year.
Yeah, CEO Brad Banducci will tell customers that the trolley freeze price is across both Woolworths branded products and other branded goods. It comes after an outcry about rising food prices, with examples of iceberg lettuces costing $10 or more, triggering anger among shoppers. Food prices have been hit by higher transport costs, poor growing conditions, including the floods down the east coast of Australia, and higher global commodity prices, largely due to the war in Ukraine. Just an interesting side note, Mr. Banducci, Michael, said the average family spent more than $200 a week on groceries. Oh, if it was only that much.
Oh, yeah, that sounds pretty good, doesn't it? All right, that's it. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Thursday, the 16th of June, 2022. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. And if 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed on your podcast platform. And every Thursday, you can also find our lighter look at the world of business, which is called Safe Word by Fear and Greed. Just search for it wherever you listen to podcasts today. We are looking at everything ranging from the 4-day working week to side hustles. It is a great listen. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.